your start time. And if you are just realizing that we're starting early, we have to start early because the kids get out of school at 12.
Yeah, on Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays. So at least for just this challenge, we're going to be doing the 11 o'clock-ish start time. And we're really going to try hard to keep it under 15 minutes. Steve already starting a timer because we all know how I can get, especially when we're together. We just
ramble a little bit.
Rant.
It's all important, but sometimes we get off a little bit ahead of the program, actually.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, welcome. It is week 2 of the Clean Kitchen Challenge. So this week we started talking a little bit, expanding a little bit more on habits and what you personally need to try to strive for as far as goals of your habits. We started off the week with the lesson of what is your nutritional level or your nutritional age. And really that's just trying to kind of define where you're at and where you need to start. Because a lot of people, when they first start out like eating or changing their eating habits, they're like, I need this meal plan. I'm gonna eat X, Y, and Z. It's chicken and celery sticks you know, a crazy workout routine, but you know, you can't go from
0 to hero.
right. 0 to hero in a matter of a day. You know, maybe a couple of months, you know,
Yeah.
but that's not necessarily where you're starting at. So we call it nutritional levels. And we have y'all split up into level 1 or level 2. And we can discuss level 3, but just know that none of us live there or ever really want to live there.
No.
That's just no fun, like absolutely no fun. So what is your nutritional level? Well, like I said, it's where you're starting from. You kind of have to assess like what you currently do now. Like, are you currently a person that hates to eat plants? Like, there are people in there that hate strawberries and grapes. You know, like you're trying to learn you're trying to adapt your taste buds to a new food quality. You know, so that most people starting out, and really everybody, even coaches included, we all are level 1s. What are level 1s? Level 1s are people that are focusing on adding in the good whenever they can. So adding the good is kind of like our motto, where you can add in so much good that you don't make enough room for, you know, the
Bad
other
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that you're eating, you know, a certain amount of meals every day. Most people that start the challenge are eating around maybe 2 meals a day, you know, but you're just working on changing the food quality of those 2. And it really can be made up of anything whole foods. Like, that's really the only rule of a level 1. You do your water habit better than what you used to do. So like if you drank 1 bottle of water before, like last week, you're gonna try to do 2 bottles of water. It's not that you have to drink a gallon, okay? And then that level 1s may even fall into the whole bridging the gap, what I talked about last week, you know, flavoring your water, because eventually you'll get, like, if you're used to drinking Diet Cokes every single day and drinking no water, like you're always used to drinking a flavor.
That's a big step.
It's a big step to go from drinking no flavor, you know, from flavor to no flavor. So bridge the gap type of thing. What's another one? Add in the good. Level 1 would be a person that is trying to not live a sick life. We've said that before. Stay out of the doctor's office type of thing.
And I had a client just today said that they were doing a switch from every Sunday they like to do Papa John's pizza as a cheat meal. But she was like, hey, I kind of want to do better. I've looked at cauliflower crust, and those guys, actually, it looks better, and it's lower calorie and all that. I said, and that falls in the camp of in the level 1 trying to eat this, not that.
Right.
So you're making a little bit better of a decision, and she knows. We talked a little bit further about eventually it's like, hey, we're going to try to make an even better decision.
Yeah.
But as a level 1, it's like, hey, like you said, you're bridging the gap right now.
Stepping stones.
And yes, you're
to
making
the ultimate goal.
Correct.
Yeah.
That would be level 1 type of thinking.
Right. And that's another level 1, like majority of all clients that go through Clean Kitchen stay at level 1.
Yeah.
You may dabble between like level 1, level 2 type habits, and I'll explain level 2 habits as well in a minute. But, you know, you'll kind of float between the 2. But the great thing about level 1 is that once you go through Clean Kitchen, you're never not going to be a level 1. Like, you can't unknow what you will learn in this. And so you become aware, and with self-awareness, you're like, you're naturally gonna make a better decision.
Yeah,
just because you're aware.
Correct. Once you go through the program, like you said, the curse of knowledge is once you know something. Like I tell you, hey, my name is Steve. You're not gonna forget it. I mean, because it's in there. Yes, you may forget it because of whatever, but the curse of knowledge is that.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. And once you do this and you know it, when you're eating a French fry, I mean, we know if I hold a bottle of water and a bottle of Coke, we know which one's better.
Right.
But it's really hard to choose the bottle of water. And that's what...
Because you're not in the habit and you haven't trained your taste buds.
There you go. And Clean Kitchen that's what we're trying to do, is train it to where it becomes a little easier.
So level 1's adding the good. You're trying
Not a sick life.
Not a sick life. You're going to lose weight doing level 1 habits.
Your doctor's going to be happy with you.
Yes. Everybody in the Clean Kitchen is level 1.
Yep.
Sometimes they go to level 2, but that's about it. All right?
And that should be your ultimate goal, is to...
Never fall below level 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so with that, so maybe you are a person that is like, I don't have to think about drinking water. I always choose water over any other beverage. I always add plants. I have no issues eating majority of plants. You know, I don't, I like vegetables and I can eat them, or, fruit, whatever. Like, you don't have to force yourself. Like, you habitually eat them at every meal. And then maybe you're a person that exercises regularly, and you're looking for some muscle building, a little bit more body composition change, a little bit more, I guess, laser focused in a goal, and it's usually a performance goal. That's usually around level 2. That's when most people try to make the jump to, okay, I've met this one goal, I'm a solid level 1, I eat plants, I drink water, I eat a protein source in all the meals, no problemo, okay?
Yeah.
Then that's when you would go to level 2. And that's just a little bit more dialed in. So whereas a level 1 protein source is pretty much anything that's not fried. You can eat beef, you can eat chicken, you can eat whatever it is, just as long as it's not
overly processed, fried, dumped in grease.
Right, yeah. Even peanut butter could count, but peanut butter is, that's more like a snack. Let's not get crazy with that.
Be careful with the peanut butter.
But as a level 2, you're going to be a little bit more focused on your choices. I always say that, the habits never change. It's just they vary in degree. And so your choices are going to be a little bit different. Like, for me, I'm pretty much a solid level 2 all the time. I mean, I do have, my 20% stuff. But for the majority of my meals, my goal is to get as much plants and vegetables in them as possible. I'm not necessarily going to go for higher fat meat, so I'm usually sticking to lean protein sources. I'm going to get a good protein source where I know I'm going to get about 20-ish grams in there, your palm size, maybe a little bit more. So that's the difference, really. It's just, focusing on adding in more plants, eating for a specific performance goal or body composition goal, but not getting too crazy like level 3.
Like an example would be, because I've watched the Instagram for years about what you eat and hung around you so long. It's like Jamie has some go-to meals that you make really quick, like the breakfast is one of them, and then the bowls that you show are another one. So she's solid level 2, I'm a solid level 1. So for an example, me, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't really prepare anything. She's already prepared. I would go to a gas station and try to choose the healthiest beef jerky that I can find. And then hopefully they have a banana at checkout, and I go protein, plant, water, check. Right. And she's just a little bit more dialed up than
I'm going to make sure the night before that I have a meal. I love breakfast, and if y'all follow the Instagram page for any amount of time, you know that I get the same breakfast all the time. And that's another thing that level 1s or even level 2s, and what you all guys will want to get is to get into those habitual meals, where you're okay with eating the same one all the time.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with repeating. I literally eat the same breakfast every day, and I never tire of it. But it packs in all of what I value. Lots of plants, a lean protein source, some, a little bit of fat in it. Like, I mean, I'm not skimping on carbs. I'm not skimping on any of the macronutrients. I've just made it fit within what I value for my meal. And so, for me, I would always have a plan, like FOMO type of thing, or fear of missing a meal. FOMAM. That's what Stephanie calls it. I'm definitely going to have a plan. But that's just a little bit different.
And like you said,
but it's not hard for me to do that because I've done it for so long.
You practice it so long, and the biggest difference between level 1 and level 2, the habits are the same, but you just dial it in just a little bit more.
Yeah. And so, you can get to a point where level 2 is your normal. But most people stay majority at level 1, maybe float in between level 2.
So for me, level 1 all the time. Oh, hey, we got an event that I have to go to the beach or something. I'm a guy that owns a gym and I'm a trainer, so I need to look a certain way, right? So leading up to that, I'm going to try to go to level 2. And try it because I know I'm going to get a little bit leaner, I'm going to get better results, et cetera,
just a little bit more focused because the goal has changed. And that's how all this, whatever you choose to do, like whatever plan that you come up with and you're going to practice and the foods that you like, it's going to reflect what your goal is. So if you're starting out as a level 1, your goal is just to be better, is to be a little bit better than the day before. And with that, you're going to get like more habitual. It's going to get easier. It's not going to feel so forced, because that is the one factor that everybody like just totally misses, is that they feel like they have to suffer to become healthy. And they're just like, if it doesn't, Meredith said this last week, she said, if it doesn't hurt, it's not working. When it doesn't have to be that way.
Not at all. I mean, you just stair step it. I mean, it's like, that's the best way to describe it, is climbing a set of stairs. Like, the first step's not bad if you rest a little bit. On the next one, well, if I sprint the stairs, I'm not going to make it to the top and it's going to hurt, I'm going to quit.
And it comes into this whole, like, how do you see yourself? How do you operate? Are you doing certain actions, or are you doing a certain plan out of self-love or self-hate? Are you mad that, are you going to go punish yourself in a workout because you ate pizza on Sunday, or you went to a party or whatever? Or are you going to look at it like, I am going to enjoy this process of becoming a person that is trying to better myself each step of the way, each little bitty step,
and being mature enough and understanding that there are going to be pitfalls along the way, and that may be one of them. No big deal. I'm going to get up and exercise because I like to exercise, not because I'm going to punish myself for eating a bad meal.
Correct. And the same thing can be said about eating habits. People ask us all the time, like, how do you eat this way year round or whatever it is? And I'm like, it's not that I'm forcing myself to eat this way. Like, I truly value feeling good. And I 100% believe that people don't understand what good feels like, because we're constantly in this stressful environment. I mean, hello, shutdown, Corona, threw everybody for a loop. And you're in this stressful situation, but then you also eat foods that add to that stress on your body, like inflammation, type of stuff. And you're not realizing it, how bad it's making you feel. So what we put in our bodies is so much more of what we value. Like, I value feeling good or giving myself the best leg up for whatever's going to come my way. And so it's really kind of like your lifestyle habits can be a reflection of what you value. I mean, that might hit some people's nerves right there, but
I'm always fast. I always do fast food. Well, why? Because I'm always in a hurry. Well, why? Do the 5 whys assignments on that and really start digging in, because then if you can get to kind of the bottom of it, then it starts to make more sense. But like you said, it's like, what do you value? Well, look at your credit card statement and it'll tell you.
Like, if you're always eating out, or you always doing X, Y, and Z. Like, you say that you want these things, but your actions aren't in line with them.
And that's where like you're saying.
And I know it's hard to change those.
Discipline is tough. It's tough. And then if you say, well, I just need to be more motivated. No. Motivation is like gasoline in a car. It's going to run out at some point, and then you want somebody to fill you back up, but you're still doing the same things that burn all the gas in the first place.
Yeah.
It's just this bad vortex that you get caught in.
It's like in the shutdown. Like, I think everybody had a really tough time. I mean, y'all had an enormously tough time because Keller's going through all of her stuff literally while everything shut down. But, you know, I was thinking back to just the last 5-6 months. I cannot imagine what other people were feeling like not being able to have these habits in place.
The thought process.
You know, the thought process, because like I had so many negative talks in my head, and I was able to talk myself out of it and be aware that, hey, that's not normal. Like, that's not my normal self-talk. Like, who are you? Like, get out of my head type of thing. You know, so when it, like, putting it into perspective of what the challenge does for people, the transformations, yes, there are physical transformations, but the biggest transformation is more emotional and mental. Because you, oh yeah, there it goes. You have a coach in the system of the program, like the app and the Facebook group and all that, and your friends going through it for accountability, which helps get you over those little hurdles and, you know, kind of push you along when you want to like stop or whatever, you know, and you run into roadblocks. But over the course of the 12 weeks, you're gaining this self-awareness where you can, if you have those bad days, and that self-talk, that negative self-talk starts to like come in your mind, it's like you're an observer of your own thoughts rather than becoming your thoughts, or your thoughts taking over.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
To me, it does.
I mean, and when I thought of this, I was like, that's exactly how it was for me in the shutdown. I was like, I had a tough time mentally and like willpower and just like wanting to cook or whatever. I can't tell you how many omelets I made during the shutdown. It was just like a lack of motivation was just zapped.
And that's
totally out. And if I hadn't known what it feels like or had the awareness of what the food, how it affects me emotionally, like all that stuff, I would have gone off the deep end. So I couldn't imagine what other people are feeling like.
We got to wrap this up, but
yeah.
Just real quick, like, so my wife is going through cancer treatment. Some of you may not know our story, but she was going through cancer treatment, had a big surgery, and then the next day they're like, everything's shutting down kind of deal. Then they're like, hey, you were exposed to the coronavirus while you were in the operating room. You're like, oh my Lord. So for me, Jamie's like, she didn't spiral, I did. So I put on probably 15 pounds, I think, or more.
Quarantine 15.
Immediately stopped working out because it was just too much, right? I was on autopilot. I was like, I have to survive this, like, so survive. What Jamie's saying is if you have some of that
already ingrained,
already there, it's going to help you so much. Like, for me, some people, you can see how it would spin out of control and they never start back up.
Right.
It took me probably a month afterwards, and then I was like you said, I'm going, who's this person that's like not taking care of themselves, not working out, not doing this, not doing, like, hey, snap out of it. Don't punish yourself for all the bad stuff you did. Get back on the stair stepper and let's do one more step. Let's do one more step.
Day one is the next day, and you're not sprinting.
Yeah,
it's
just crawling through it.
It's just, and it can be any kind of situation. Whether you had a blowout week of just like complete debauchery, you don't need to starve yourself the next week.
No. You
don't need to do anything. You just need to start adding in the good.
Yep.
And so that's level 1 habits. And that's what you're learning. That's what you're going to try to work towards.
Yes.
You know, the rest of the challenge is to get on autopilot of these level 1 habits. So if another shutdown happens, you're going to know what to do. And you're going to be so self-aware that, yes, accountability helps. 100%, especially in the beginning. Like, everybody needs accountability. But you're going to have an arsenal of weapons to help you get through those icky days. So, we'll wrap it up there. But that was a good one.
That was good.
You just crushed that. All right, guys. So if you have any questions for week 3, we will be back. Let us know, and we will be happy to answer your questions.
Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
See ya.